Hey guys, it's Rutherford here. Welcome to my channel. I have something so exciting that I'm sharing with you today. Over the weekend, over the 4th of July weekend, me and my girlfriends decided to get together for a Jane Austen inspired tea party. We took out the good china, we had face masks, we watched Pride and Prejudice, the whole 9 yards. So here's a clip about what happened this weekend, what we did, and the fun that we experienced. I hope that this inspires you to have your own parties just like us. Hey guys, it's Rutherford here. You're getting me super early in the morning. Well, it's not even super early, it's just the day after a holiday, so you know. But today is the Jane Austen tea party that we have set up for you. This was started by my best friend Miranda. She apparently did this every year and I never knew about it, and then last year I crashed it. So this year we're turning it into a thing, and we're having scones and pinwheels and La Madeleines and lots of tea. So get ready to join me for a tea party of your life. Or of my life. I don't know. I don't know how this thing works. We're going to figure it out. Alright, bye. Hey guys, we are on the way to the tea party. Tea party! So we have, I don't know how much food we have.
I cooked since 6 a.m.
I don't know.
I made eclairs from scratch this morning.
The Duggars could probably come over and we would have enough for a light snack for them. So, I'm excited! Woo!
Go.
Okay.
Or wait.
Yeah, go.
That's full enough, bitch.
Okay, so Miranda, tell us how the Pride and Prejudice tea started.
So my grandmother personally felt I was not ladylike enough and put me in charm school, because that was a very, very wise choice of a way to spend money. And they had a high tea every month, and everyone under the age of 12 would not sit still for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd put on a film. But the way they would do it is they would put on a film that showed ladies in their element. So we watched historical documentaries about Marie Antoinette, and we watched everything by Jane Austen that they could get their hands on. Which, this was a town without a functioning movie theater. Like, their movie theater had movies from the 80s still playing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So the fact that they literally shipped in DVDs when DVD players were new for this was a pretty outrageous concept. So they'd play a film while we did our tea, and the entire movie we were wearing gloves and proper dresses, and we had proper posture. And every time the moment, yeah, no, keep your elbows off the table. I'll just slap you. Every time it came up, anytime there'd be any physical reaction, like if you laughed, instead you'd have to have a demure smile and take a sip, because it was more or less, it looked like fun. It was a test.
Aww.
But I loved the fact that we got dressed up and drank which at the time the tea was usually like black tea with apple juice. So it was delicious.
Yeah.
And we'd watch movies
Sounds delicious.
where beautiful women found love, and I loved that concept.
So, how do you feel about Jane Austen?
Oh, I think she was so ahead of her time. Being an English major, reading everything that she wrote, she was so inspiring, even till this day. She would be such a standout woman, and also she just introduced us to this beautiful world it doesn't exist anymore, but we have a little piece of it today. Thank you, Miranda, for doing that.
She's like hunched over here.
No, Becca left her spoon in her cup glass, and I've been staring at her this
Look at this. Look at this monstrosity. How dare.
I'm the most uncultured one at the table. Hello.
I started out like I broke eye contact, and I like started to
But she was just like, nope. Nope. There's the bowl. It's still in there. That's like a mother face. Like, I taught you better than this.
It's that.
Put it off the table. Yeah.
I have cortical scoliosis, so automatically I'm still like, I want to straighten my back, but I also still want to hunch it.
This is like our feminist version of a Jane Austen tea party. Like, we're for comfort.
Yes.
We're for comfort.
After I didn't dues for charm school, we did them either in pajamas, or I would wear bright pink fluffy dresses with bows, or my like ballet uniforms, because my mom would buy me like these ridiculous, like the kind of tutus you can't sit down, and if you do, you're like, help me.
I know.
And I would sit at a table, proper posture, in a tutu, and just be like, more please.
You're like, oh
And
yeah.
I'd be like, I'm a ballerina. I was cute as a child.
She loves this part of the movie.
Shut up!
Yay. I'll just be a floating head. I'm okay with that.
So you're gonna make a bloopers reel, right?
I just can't get over Miranda's little conniption she just had. Over.
They're so happy.
She was just like, oh my god. I was like, she kept hitting me. I was like, stop it.
That's how I express joy.
I know.
Through violence.
They're violent. Go to y'all. And down.
Yeah,
Okay, so we just finished watching Pride and Prejudice. What did you guys think?
It was very cute and good.
Yeah, but Becca's the virgin here. She's never seen any Austenisms.
She's a Jane virgin. Jane virgin.
That's a different show.
She's a Jane.
Yeah, that's a Netflix, and I have seen
She's
that one.
a Jane Austen virgin, and so we just enlightened her to a new form. I don't know where I'm going.
Are you up for another feature film?
Hell yeah.
Cool, because I got one about cousins getting married. Oh
Oh my god, is that Mansfield Park?
Yes, I love
Oh
it.
my god.
Is that the you were talking about a sequel? Or no?
No, there's a sequel to Pride and Prejudice called Death Comes to Pemberley.
Ooh.
And it's like kind of a murder mystery. It used to be on Netflix. It isn't right now, but
I'm here
it'll
for
pop
it.
up. I'll let you know the next time it's up. When we watched the 8-hour-long Pride and Prejudice, that's what I wanted to watch when you informed me that we'd been together for 8 hours and you were done.
You know I can only take so much.
It's the best one, though.
I think I'd want to watch the 8-hour Pride and
It's
Prejudice.
so good.
It's good.
It covers a lot of if you know some
Go
parts
into
where they
detail.
skipped.
Yeah, to clarify, did you talk to the video? I don't know. To clarify, I have seen the YouTube Pride and Prejudice, so I have some familiarity with what the concept of the plot was.
Yeah.
But this is my first time seeing it in the original setting and in the original context and not a modern version.
It's a good adaptation. This one,
Yeah.
I like
It
it.
is
I like it because
really
the
fun.
scenes are beautiful, the music is beautiful, and they build
costume.
up. Yes,
I love
and
the actresses.
They build up the tension so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I like that version.
By the way, which version did we watch? It was the one with Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley. It was
2005. Right?
2005 Best Actress Award, so yeah.
Yeah.
2005. It's always in the back.
She won Best Actress.
Nice.
What? I didn't know that.
I mean, it was really good. I just felt like they walked more pensively than they actually did, like, things
didn't
happening.
like the
and then when
entire
things happened,
scene
it
of
was like,
walking?
let's go.
Yeah, like holy shit, that was so long. That was like a solid minute or two of just.
It was
him
just
walking
like,
towards
he's
her.
walking in the rain,
Hey,
she's walking
It
in
was
the rain.
no Colin Firth coming out of the pond.
Oh my god. Colin Firth, though.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
So why do you like Mr. Darcy? Like, do we like Mr. Darcy, or do we like Mr. Binning more?
Mr. Bingley?
Bingley.
Mr. Bingley, because Mr. Bennett's the dad, and I don't have that issue.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Darcy. I said Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, you said or Mr. Biggle.
The ginger.
I think what I like about Mr. Darcy is the fact that he's awkward, and he's very much like, and I believe in my opinion, blah blah blah, but he changes as a character and he adapts, and he doesn't just railroad her, and he like learns from it, and he adapts to make sure that he's like the best version of himself.
Yeah.
What I appreciated and I noticed is as the movie went on, he got more and more, like his wardrobe changed too. Like he got less put together and
more relaxed.
buttoned up. Yeah, and I thought that was a really good use of costuming to like show his character changing.
That symbolism dope.
What I love about Mr. Darcy is that, like, he doesn't try, he fixes her problems and stuff, but he's not like an arrogant asshole about it.
He's not
Oh no, he's an arrogant asshole. But
But
then
not
he gets-
about that.
Yeah.
But not about that. Like,
Yeah.
when he tries to
Yeah.
woo her, he's like, he's humble.
I like the fact that he's an arrogant asshole until he decides there's something that he needs to fix. And then he's like, but I don't want anyone to know I did it.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I
want
like
to
Yeah,
get the
that too.
credit.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
was gonna say, you love him because he's tall, dark, and handsome.
I do love a tall man. I married a tall man. I do love a
I
tall man.
appreciated the snark so
Oh,
much.
yes.
That was
Sass.
very good, and a lot of it I liked more on what's Elizabeth's side. Yes.
And can I just say, like, how dialogue-wise that was so risky back in that era when she wrote it? Because it's just like, even on our tea party, we were like, pinkies down, not up, and it, you know, we're like, you know, little things like that. And that used to be such a huge deal. Like, I don't think my mom could live with me.
I would have died.
I know, like, me
You
and
would have
Becca,
been prisoned.
me and Becca wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it in that era.
Fuck all y'all, I'd be a duchess by now.
I
I got a big butt. I'm marriageable.
You've got birthing hips.
I do.
I do as well. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate it, and I do think they were a match for each other.
yeah.
Like I
They're well
appreciated.
suited.
Yeah, I
They're both
appreciated
stubborn.
the scenes, especially when Elizabeth was almost so distracted she forgot she hated him.
Yeah. For sure.
There's a thing that they didn't really cover in this adaptation, but in the books, very obvious, is they both have a very deep, intense love for family.
Yeah.
Because
He
in
loves
the
his
book,
sister.
it goes on to be like he's more or less covering a lot of secrets to keep his sister Georgiana protected.
Right.
And this, if you noticed, it was a scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like one.
No. Not okay. Anyway, but in the book, it's a lot more in depth. Everything happened with her and Wickham.
I will say it did. I feel like if I hadn't have had the background knowledge of having even seen just the YouTube version and cultural knowledge, I feel like I would have been lost if I didn't go in kind
Because
of.
I was yelling from over there trying to just catch it up the whole time.
Well, no, but I mean like, I mean that's the point though. Is like as a movie that stands on its own, I feel like, and I did have that knowledge. So maybe that's biased to me, but I feel like it is definitely a movie made for people who already like Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
This adaptation really was.
Yeah.
This one was more or less we made a version that has all these people you're gonna like. Go watch
Exactly.
it.
To be fair, I think it was a gorgeous adaptation, and that, you know, it can be good to focus on that subset, especially for such a beloved cultural mainstay, that you will have that audience who will appreciate, here's all the little details and all the setting things we can do and all the fancy, nice things we can get right, and, you know, that's a good thing to have.
At some point, if you have an entire day and you're willing to just throw it away, but just so happy the whole time,
You know, I'm always willing to do
watch.
that.
Yeah, no. Suffer for fun. I binge watched the entire Stranger Things season 3 the other night.
Oh, Lord.
Don't do it. It hurts your heart. But don't do it.
I do it.
I know. I want to do it now. I'm just like,
No. Katie came down to me crying on the couch, and he was like, "Okay."
she's like, what is happening?
But the longer one has a lot more detail. They cut out a lot less, and the cast of that one is also pretty damn amazing. It's got a young Colin Firth. It's got Alex Kingston, River Song.
Oh.
She's Mrs. Bennet.
Oh, nice.
I feel like any movie or adaptation that's of a Jane Austen book is kind of like to actors like adapting like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's one of those it's like a trope you have to do
Yeah.
if you want to be like a real actor. You know what I'm saying?
Part of the issue, I'm trying to think of the wording of this. Part of the issue is there's a lot of modernizations in their adaptations right now,
Yeah.
and they're not all good. There's a movie called Sense and Sensibility, and it's Sense and Sensibility, but they're perfume makers, and that's well done ish.
Oh God, is that a Lifetime movie?
It's a Hallmark movie.
I'd be interested in watching Sense and Sensibility, because I do not have the cultural knowledge of that one. I have no idea what it's about.
Idea for you, because you're not big on the romance. There's a series that of books where they took Pride and Prejudice. They took Jane Austen and they changed it, but it's still the original text with additions.
Mhm.
I have Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
Oh, so that is the zombie one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same series,
Maybe.
different text.
You know who I like in the movie, and I feel like she's so underrated in the movie, but Miss Lucas, her friend.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes. And she was just so brave and
Yes.
be like, you know what, I have to do this. you
Yeah,
know?
and the fact that she took no shit from Elizabeth.
In the extended version, it's more clear on that one. Because in this one, you couldn't really tell their relationship. Like, they snuck
Yeah,
her in
I was like,
without
who's
she's
she?
extra sister.
Yeah.
But in the extended version, you know, Charlotte Lucas is like her childhood best friend and everything. And in the book, if I'm remembering correctly, she's described as not being especially pretty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the fact that she got a proposal, she was like, this is
Her
the only
mom made
chance
that
I'll
very
ever
known.
get.
Yeah. Oh my God, what is with the mothers being like, my daughter's ugly?
The mom is annoying in the movie, but in that time period, she's
That's
doing
how
her
it was.
job.
Yeah, she's hustling
Yeah,
for
no,
her
that's
babies.
like, she's putting in the work.
Yeah, she-
They were the original
So, Kris Jenner
No.
as Mrs. Bennet.
No. I'd watch it, but I wouldn't be happy at all.
I watch it, but I hate myself. I love
Oh, what's your opinion of Mr. Darcy?
I love Mr. Darcy. He is just so pompous and all that, but you get
I
to
love
the,
how pompous he is.
you get to he has a personality inside.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like
got a big heart.
he's like an onion. He's got layers.
He's really a three-dimensional character.
Yes.
He's got
yes.
like
Yeah.
I was very confused about when he fell in love with her.
So
I think it was
yeah, this one was too short to really
Yeah.
draw that out. In the book, it's like what 400 pages.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's-
content.
It's a lot of content.
It's
but
a good read, but it's not a quick read.
And it sounds like it's like dense too. It's not like
gradual,
fluff.
real
but
dense.
intense.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of fluff.
It's not.
It's real. It's
No easy cuts there.
No, Jane wasn't about that life. She was like Charles Dickens. She was like paying by the word. So he actually falls in love with her earlier in the storyline, but kind of doesn't want to believe it.
Because of all those things he
Yeah.
goes to. So I assume he's
circumstance.
the pride and she's the prejudice. Or they are both.
No, she's the proud. She's too
She's the
proud,
pride.
and he's prejudiced against her wealth or her stature.
Because she's a lowborn.
It took me a long time to figure that one out. It was the big thing.
Which
I
is
mean,
it's funny because
honestly-
they point out her prejudice at one point and it was like, excuse me, sir, you're wrong. You're
Wait,
talking
hold
the
on.
wrong one.
That one. I feel like it could apply to both.
It does.
Like, they're both prideful and they both, like, prejudice can be a form of, like, snap judgment. They made that a whole point.
Well, and prejudice had a lot to do with like hierarchy of birth.
Yeah.
A segue. I told Lauren about there's a film called Lost in Austen that I've seen. Have you ever seen it? So the main character, whose name I can't remember for the life of me right now.
Elizabeth Bennet.
No.
That was just a guess.
I think it's like Jane. I don't remember it for a while. So her favorite book is Pride and Prejudice, and at one point, oh god, this sounds insane out loud. At one point, she goes into her bathroom and Elizabeth Bennet walks through the wall,
What?
and she's like, "You don't exist. This is insane." And Elizabeth Bennet's like her pen pal a little bit, and then she ends up going through the wall herself and ends up in Pride and Prejudice, but Elizabeth Bennet ends up here. So they end up switching places, and she has to keep everything on track. Because if in the book, Elizabeth Bennet's the reason that Jane ended up with Bingley and Charlotte ended up with, like, she's the reason shit happens.
Yes.
So without her
Did you-
there, it's a very important missing link.
Not just in
So
the
the-
romance, but in, like,
in-
the rest of them.
In the fucking, it's her book. It's her
Yeah.
storyline. So the whole thing's kind of a beautiful train wreck, and in the end, Mr. Darcy's in love with her. And the best line ever is she ends up, the girl from here ends up back here. Amanda! Her name is Amanda. She ends up back in London in like 2008. And Elizabeth Bennet's here, and she's got the cutest little page boy haircut. And Mr. Darcy ends up here too, and she's like, "We've been married for 200 years," and he's like,
Whoa.
"I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that."
I mean, you never know.
It's a good film. You'd like it.
It sounds good.
It
It has a
sounds
good
really
cast. I looked it up.
Yeah, no, that Mr. Darcy.
Hey.
Colin Firth, though.
Oh my god, Colin
Oh, I
Firth
know.
is Mr. Darcy. Even though it was 8 hours of my life, it was worth it.
Him walking out of
Oh,
that
yes.
pond. God bless him.
What is with you in the pond scene?
Oh no! In Lost in Austen, at one point Mr. Darcy's trying to spill his guts to her and tell her exactly how much he loves her, and she's like, "Would you do something for me?" And he's like, "Anything to prove to you that I mean this." And she's like, "Okay." And the next scene cuts to him in the pond water, and she's like, "Slow." And I'm just like, you know, there's somebody out there who's like, "Finally."